Now, I don't want you hopping around while I'm trying for a 300-yard downhill shot.
Hey, someone just got one of them. There goes another one. I see him. Where? Up there on the hill.
A girl and a kid. You're only a $4 broomtail, sleepy cat, but you got more brains than these immigrants. Well, I guess we might as well go down. She might be pretty. She certainly ought to be grateful.
I don't know how we can ever thank you, sir, but you see...
What's the matter with you? That's only a scalp.
But you can't do a thing like that.
Well, he'd have taken yours.
That's barbaric.
Lady, you've just given a pretty fair description of life in this part of the country. There's a souvenir for you, kid.
Tommy, don't you dare take that horrid thing. Throw it away.
Well, if you don't want it, bury it. You better walk those horses around. They look mighty hot. Don't be so horrified. Indians don't mind dying, but losing their hair keeps them from heaven. That's the only thing they're afraid of. You leave their dead with their warlocks on, or they think they've won. Old-timers always take scalps. Where's the man in your party?
Oh, we're alone. Just Tommy and me.
I've heard of smarter things.
We started off from St. Joe with a wagon train, but this morning we got separated in the fog. We were trying to catch up.
Hmm. Well, we'll make camp here and rest those horses. Try to catch them tomorrow.
All right. I didn't finish thanking you, Mr.
Prescott. Just call me Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Prescott. I'm Beth Martin.
I'll call you Beth. You know, I lost a bet on you.
I don't understand.
Up there on the hill. I bet myself you'd be homely.
I'll get some water.
I'll get it. Never made a worse guess in my life.
Gee, sis, ain't he great? Oh, yes, of course. Get some more, Tommy. I'll get the fire started. There. Now, Mike. Mr. Prescott. You said I could call him Mike. And I say you'll show good manners.
All right. And tell me the rest about the fight at Dobie Wells. The Indians were coming then?
Well, it was...
Bedtime for you, Tommy.
Oh.
Tommy?
All right.
Hey, where are you going?
Bed.
You want to keep that hair?
Yeah, sure.
Well, then you take those blankets and go off about a couple 100 yards from this fire and bed down in the grass.
It'll be cold.
Uh-huh. But you'll be alive in the morning. Lots of immigrants die in bed. In their wagons.
Mr. Prescott knows, Tommy. I suppose you think we're pretty stupid.
Uh-huh.
Well, we know nothing of the wilderness.
I know.
We lived in Cincinnati till our father died. All we could do was try to find my brother in Mariposa, California.
You know, a pretty girl gets her life saved ought to give a fella a kiss. Well, I've met warmer women.
And I've met more gentlemanly men.
But not in this part of the country. We're not geared to be gentlemen. It takes all our time just to stay alive.
I can't see any future in this conversation, Mr. Prescott.
Oh, I know, but that's because you're an immigrant, naturally ignorant. A lone woman on the frontier doesn't stand much of a chance without a man to protect her.
Mr. Prescott,
Now, just hear me out. You and the boy need protection. I can furnish that. From my side, well, you're about the handsomest filly that I've seen in many a day. I have a theory that this could be a very interesting trip.
Well, there are 1,000 reasons I could give you for saying no. But I'll use the most mannerly one I can think of, and it's the truth. I've made up my mind not to get married until Tommy's grown up.
Oh, you've got me all wrong. I wasn't speaking of marriage. I've got a wife kicking around back east someplace.
Mr. Prescott, if I were a man, I'd...
If you were a man, this subject would never have come up.
This conversation is closed.
Wait a minute. Tommy, lay dogo. Come on.
No.
Shut up and come on.
Let me go.
Get down and be quiet.
This is the most...
Shut up.
I won't.
Those horses are wearing shoes. Indian ponies are never shod. Hi! This way!
I'm sorry I behaved as I did. I thought you...
What?
Never mind, I apologize.
Okay, come on out, Tommy.
Mr. Conover, I thought I'd never see you again.
We didn't miss you in the fog until late this afternoon. We started back immediately.
Oh, this is Mr. Prescott.
He saved us and killed 3 Indians.
Hello, Prescott. So you're as quick as ever with your gun.
You're talking about that thing in St. Joe. That idiot drew first. In fact, he got in the first shot.
So the witnesses testified. We'll make camp and take you on the wagon train in the morning. I imagine you leave us tonight, Prescott.
Yeah. I guess as long as I'm not needed, I might as well make some miles. Goodbye.
He's an outlaw?
I don't know that you could say that, but he's been in a lot of places where guns went off. Trouble seems to come wherever he goes. Step down and make camp, man.
Why don't you stay and travel with the caravan?
You want me to?
Well, I thought it would be safer.
With immigrants? Adios, mi linda Freya. So long, kid.
So long, Mike. Thanks for the souvenir.
Mr. Conover, do you speak Spanish?
Yes.
Well, what does mi linda Freya mean?
My cold beauty. Why?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
When'd you get back?
Well, hello, John. A couple of days ago. Drink?
With pleasure. But first, I've got to go bet my once-a-week Saturday night $10 gold piece on...
17.
Right, 17.
I'm going round in circles, 'cause you're not on the square. I'm going round and round and round in circles, 'cause you're not playing fair. You say you love me, love me, love me, this I can't believe. 'Cause if you thought much of me, you would not deceive and grieve me. I'm going round in circles, 'cause you're not on the square. I feel like a Ferris wheel or sometimes I'm a top. I'm in such a dizzy, don't know how to stop. In and out and up and down, I'm always in a spin. Every time I reach the end, then I begin again. I'm going round in circles, 'cause you're not on the square. I'm going round and round and round in circles, 'cause you're not playing fair. You say you miss me if I go away, but you forget to kiss me every other day. Oh, baby, I'm going round in circles, 'cause you're not on the square. Oh, no, 'cause you're not on the square.
If the chili pepper knew what I know, she'd stick a knife in you.
If you thought there was a profit in it, you'd tell her.
Of course.
Hey, Norris.
Yes?
I hear you've been telling it around town that my credit isn't any good. You hunting trouble with me?
I don't tell anything around town. But your credit isn't any good at my store, if that's what you're asking.
I hear you've been wondering out loud how I make my living since I lost the mine.
Not out loud, I haven't. But I do wonder now that you've mentioned it. And I don't think you've heard that I said anything. I think you're just picking a fight so you'll have an excuse not to pay me the $1,800 you owe me.
Everybody move back. You taking over this argument, Prescott?
Yeah.
You got no place in this squabble.
You killed a man in here last month. I don't like that. And while we're on the subject, I don't like you. You'll do no more gunfighting in my place.
You don't scare me.
Well, if I don't, now's a good time to prove it.
Everybody loosen their cinch and take a breather. This one's on the house. Unless my partner objects.
No objection.
Don't be a cholo. The joint's full of good whiskey and pretty gals. There's much better things to do than fight. Come on, you guys. Drink up and forget it. Squabble's over, eh, gentlemen? I did you a favor, amigo. You have never seen my partner, whom I so cordially dislike, go into action.
I'm not afraid to try him.
Look, amigo, you've downed a few miners who took a half a day to get it out of the holster and then get into the side of a barn. But with Mike, you better pick your spots, because he'll be watching you. He thinks you're taking the gold shipments.
You better keep it to himself.
Thanks, Mike. I don't think I could have handled him.
He's loud. That doesn't necessarily mean he's tough.
Watch him, Mike.
I watch everybody, this being the kind of a world it is.
New deck. They gonna do it now?
Yes.
Wish I could watch.
Stay where you belong. It's almost 12 o'clock, Mr. Prescott.
Okay.
See, I'm new here. What's that all about, Norris? Partners cut cards every Saturday night for the profits. Winner take all.
12 o'clock, Mr. Corey.
I'll be right along.
Gotta win sooner or later. Percentage.
I'm beginning to doubt the percentages. That's a bad thing for a man who's a gambler by trade.
Lucky we've got a sideline.
Your mouth's your worst enemy, Bob. Once you start to talk with it.
This is all the profits for the 17 weeks you were away, Mr. Prescott. We didn't do as well during your absence as we do when you're here.
I expected that.
You think I've been stealing from the tables?
Yes?
You're entitled to your opinion. But some of these days, that kind of remark will get you killed.
As usual, both gentlemen will cut the deck and I will deal one card.
I'll bet 5,000 on Link.
I'm a funny gambler. When I win, I like to collect.
King of diamonds.
I'd have won 5,000.
Ace of spades. Your record's perfect. You're wrong again.
Well, there's always another Saturday night.
It's amazing, Mr. Prescott. 21 straight times now you've cut higher than Mr. Corey.
Well, Link just doesn't live right.
It's funny you two being partners. I've never been able to explain that. You don't like him.
Very simple, Whalen. I don't like people.
Listen, Prescott, you can't get away with it.
Shut up. There's 1,000 unpleasant things about running a dump like this, but there's one pleasant thing. I can keep out anybody I want to. That's a description of you. So find someplace else to pretend you're a big, bad gunfighter with that gun slung down low. Keep on choosing drunken cowboys and slow-moving miners, because you're just not very fast. I'll get going before I have one of the smaller waiters throw you out.
I'll kill you for this.
I wish you had money. Make you a sizable bet on it. Vamoose. All right, kick up a little music, boys.
And a good thing. The last man he killed in here was as defenseless as a baby.
Somebody go get the sheriff.
You killer! You killed him! Assassino! Criminal assassino!
I feel sorry for you, kid. But he meant those holes in the ceiling for me.
Out of the way.
Aren't you going to do anything about it? He was your best friend! Aren't you going to do anything about it?
Nice shooting. I thought he had you with that scattergun.
Yeah, that would have broken your heart.
Straight whiskey. I'd have pined away and died of sorrow.
What Maria said was true. The guy was your best friend.
I don't have any dead friends. What good can a dead man do you?
I like keeping you around. You're so warm-blooded, emotional.
Soft-hearted and all that. We make a well-matched pair, don't we, Mike?
Oh, Maisie. Come here. I want you to talk to Maria.
I tried. I told her Bob had to get it, going around picking gunfights every night. She does nothing but scream and cry.
Well, that's love, I guess.
I wouldn't know about that. No more than you, Mr. Prescott.
Tell her the crowd took up a collection so she can get back home, wherever that is.
Right, Mr. Prescott. Maybe you ain't such a bad guy at that.
Don't bet on that. I just want her where she can't stick a knife in my back some fine evening.
Martin finally got cured of thinking he was wired up, eh? Who was the other gent involved?
Me.
It was a clear case of self-defense, Sheriff. He came for Mr. Prescott with a shotgun. Witnesses?
Self-defense.
He came from Mike with that shotgun right there.
A couple of you boys take him over to the hardware store. Chuck Walters can lay him out. Glad I don't have to lock you up in my little jail. I got a couple of deputies bringing in a prisoner from Caw Creek. Fella's been killing them miners in their sleep. Caught him red-handed. Two would crowd my jail.
Caught him red-handed, huh?
Had the gold right on him.
Let's have the hanging pretty quick. I got to get back to my diggings.
Been gone along about 4 months, wasn't it, Mike?
About.
The stage has been held up 5 times during those months. Every time when the gold was going out with it.
I went back east.
Could have said that and hid out in the hills and taken them 5 shipments. I'm working by process of elimination. A real smart lad is doing these holdups. And there's very few real smart people around. You're one of them, see what I mean?
I'm torn between being flattered and being indignant.
Your feelings don't interest me. Another thing, you never ship your plunder out with the rest. You always take it out yourself. That could tie in.
You're a suspicious character, Willie.
That's the business I'm in.
Well, I get mine an easier way.
Some fellows are never satisfied unless they get it all. That's a bad habit called greed. Which reminds me, most saloons the sheriff goes in, they stand him a drink.
Bartender, the house is buying the sheriff a drink. Short beer.
Miss Martin.
Hello, Mrs. Lynch.
Come in. I hope Mr. Lynch has learned something. My money's about gone.
You'd better talk to my husband about that.
Good evening, miss. Sit here. You stay, Maggie.
You have bad news?
Yes, Miss Martin, I finally located your brother. He was operating a mine known as the Opal in coarse gold. Some few days ago, he was killed in a gunfight in a saloon. I don't know what the value of the property is. I don't suppose that you'd want to go to a place like that. I'll start an investigation.
Stop talking, Daddy, and go for a walk.
This got your eye, Sonny?
You mustn't stare, Tommy. It's bad manners.
That's all right, miss. I don't mind. I'm right proud of this doohickey. It's made from the epaulet of a British officer I captured during the Battle of New Orleans.
It's very beautiful.
Well, I keep it to remind me, though I got a hole in my arm would serve just as well. Gonna be right and dusty for a while, miss. Hold this over your face.
Oh, but you, sir.
A tough old campaigner like me, bosh. Cover up and rest. I'll tell this young feller about old Hickory.
Thank you.
We got the express box.
Hey, ain't nobody going after him?
What's making you disturbed a piece, old boy? Well, you're hot as a $4 pistol. Now, who'd put a horse away in that kind of shape? Pedro! You imitation vaquero? Pedro!
Hey, Jerry! Come here! None of my horses go out tonight. Ah, pobrecito. You walk around with Pedro, and you get cool off. Oh,
Pedro! Who does that gelding belong to?
Senor Prescott, but it's not like him to leave a hot horse get foundered.
Where's Mike?
That Mike. I'd kill him someday.
I feel sorry for you, girlie, but stop that kind of talk. I ask you a question.
I don't keep cases on Mike's social life. Our relationship is strictly business.
When people don't answer me, I get furious. Ever see me get furious, young fella?
I have, and I'll answer. Mike went to bed 3 or 4 hours ago. He likes his sleep. Want me to send a waiter for him?
I'll go myself on the kind of one I've done right.
That sheriff. He doesn't even arrest that Mike for killing my Bob.
Mike's got him in his pocket.
Really? I kill him.
Somebody better speak up. Oh, it's you.
None others, they say in the storybooks.
Still suspicious, huh?
I'm still in the same business.
Don't mind disturbing me a bit. I'll go right back to sleep the minute you've gone.
Sleep like a baby, huh? Clear conscience, is that why?
Bullseye. And on your very first guess.
Next shipment of gold that goes out of here, I go with it. And you go with me. We ain't gonna tell nobody about it. Then if it ain't held up, I'm gonna get downright 100% suspicious.
Tell the bartender the house will stand another short beer.
You're gonna get me drunk squandering that way.
Come on in.
You smell like Aunt Mabel. You look like Cousin Clarence.
I think I look distinguished, even pretty.
What's the occasion at this hour?
I'm dressing for the arrival of the stage.
Expecting somebody?
Nobody in particular. But a dream, a vision may get out off that dusty vehicle. Something about 20, raven-haired, big blue eyes, and all the other necessary accoutrements. I want to look my best at such a moment.
Nobody like that's ever gotten off that stage yet.
But it might. You see, you're a pessimist, and I'm an optimist. I believe in Santa Claus and Red Riding Hood, and just such a girl will arrive.
5 to 1.
I'll take $1,000 worth of that.
Bet.
We're held up. Mile below Caw Creek. Got the outgoing shipment, killed a passenger and the guard.
Oh, I owe you 5,000.
Just about as I described. Miss Wentworth, it's pleasant to see you. I'm Lincoln Corey. Your uncle asked me to meet the stage as he was detained on business.
My name's not Wentworth.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry.
That's all right.
It was a natural mistake.
Of course.
You see, Mr. Wentworth asked me to meet the stage for the next few days and watch out for a sensationally beautiful girl, 18 years of age.
I suspect you're a liar, Mr. Corey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Miss Wentworth. I'm not a sensational beauty, and I'm not 18. However, perhaps you can be of service. Where can I find the sheriff of this community?
He's here.
Where?
See the men?
Pitch dark.
Take them over to Doc Thomas. I'll do my questioning there.
Sheriff, I'm Beth Martin. I realize now isn't the time, but I would like to talk to you about my brother, Robert Martin.
Come to my office later.
Name's Link.
Call me Martin.
Must have been real exciting, that hold-up. But I'll bet you weren't scared.
It sure was. Anybody with good sense would have been.
You've got a lot of sense for your age, son. Anytime the other fellow's holding a gun, it's time to be scared.
What are you doing with my bag, Mr. Corey?
I'm going to carry it, Miss Martin.
But, Mr. Corey,
On account of I'm a fellow with proper raising. And Mama always taught me to carry things for ladies. And if she hadn't, I'd have done it anyway, considering your looks.
Well,
Furthermore, you don't know where to go. So I'm taking you to the Widow McGillion's, which is the only place a lady can stay in Coarse Gold.
But I don't
On
want...
account of the sound of gunfire is often heard tonight at our other so-called hotels. Any further questions?
You must be a lawyer. All that eloquence should be directed to a jury. But I don't want to stay at a hotel. Money's a problem, and I would like to find my brother's mine, the opal. Well, it must have some kind of living quarters on it.
Such as they are. Come. I'll get a rig hitched.
The last time you were in better company. Those Indians have some good qualities, you know.
You two know each other?
We've met. Good day, Mr. Prescott.
Good day.
You know Mike?
I've told you we've met, and I don't care to discuss Mr. Prescott.
Miss Martin, any subject you don't care to discuss will be closed forever. There it is.
It's very lonely, isn't it?
I told you. You should stay in town.
No. No, we'll make out. Well, hop down, Tommy. Carry the bags in.
Bob wasn't much on housekeeping.
There's work for a broom and a scrub brush, all right. Well, I'll need a lot of things. Mr. Corey, would you take me to town so I can get them?
Cinch.
Tommy, would you be afraid to stay here while I go to town for supplies?
No, of course not.
Know what that does the business?
Well, he's familiar with guns, but I'm afraid that...
Well, we better lope. Old man Norris closed his store right on the dot.
Well, all right. I appreciate your avoiding the subject, Mr. Corey, but... Well, I'm reconciled now, and I wish you'd tell me what you know of my brother's death.
Beth, I'd rather not. You find out from some other people. My partner was a man on the other gun, and I wouldn't want you to think I changed or colored the story. I'll take you to Bob's girl.
Girl?
Yeah, Maria Sanchez, a singer. She's taking it pretty hard.
I'm anxious to talk with her.
Hey, John, hold a minute, will you? This lady's bad off the provisions. Fix her up, will you? I'll stand good for the credit.
Who'll stand good for you, Link?
John's idea of a joke. Have him put your stuff in the back of the wagon. You'll find me at the Golden Bear.
Can a lady go in the Golden Bear?
You'll make the first one. Where'd you know the lady from?
I met her.
Don't get peeved.
I'm not peeved.
I saw a gleam in your eye that I've seldom seen there. I've got a hunch this particular lady could get you to coo in her ear. That for her, you'd drop that hard manner you usually have with dames.
You gonna say anything worthwhile, or are you just gonna keep on running off at the mouth?
I wonder how she'll feel when she finds out you dropped Bob.
You didn't tell her?
I never was a tattletale.
Well, that must be your only virtue, then.
She's living at the Opal. I wonder what she'll think when she finds out she doesn't own that scurvy little mine. When she finds out you own the Opal, and she'll have to get off the property.
You puzzle me.
Why?
Because you're so pleased with yourself. And I can't figure why. You're only a $4 imitation of a man.
Oh, no, amigo. I'm not going to let you pick a fight with me.
You may not have any choice.
I was right. This is one dame that Prescott feels different about. Watch out. She might draw a bead on you. Right between the eyes.
Take that. That's $2. Joe, come in here.
Sit in for me, Whalen, will you? 8-4, still high.
Joe, here's a deed to the Opal. I want my name taken off of it so it shows in the records to Bob Martin as before.
I can do that, Mike. This county recorder. Martin's dead, you know, and after all, the law says a deceased person. I can get in an awful lot of trouble with this, you know. All right. I can't understand why a man wants to give away a mine, even though it's a little one like the Opal. After all,
I didn't ask you to understand, Joe. Just ask you to change the deed.
About 20 paces from that tree that was blasted by lightning, you'll find a rock with a blaze on it. Roll it away and you'll find another sack. That's all the cash is.
I guess I can find them all.
When you gonna let me escape?
Well, I ain't gonna let you escape at all.
But you said if I told you where the gold was stashed,
I lied. And look who to. And it don't lay heavy on my conscience a bit.
You dirty crook!
Don't call me a crook. I may steal some here and there, but not this money. Them miners had widows. And I just can't bring myself to stealing widows' money. My narrow-minded upraising, I guess.
Good evening, Sheriff.
Evening, Miss Martin. I must admit I don't relish this meeting at all. I hate to have to say anything unpleasant to a lady, particularly such a pretty lady. I suppose you come here all primed to get some justice done about your brother.
I thought I'd investigate what could be done.
Sit down.
Thank you.
I'd offer you a drink if I thought it wouldn't offend you.
No, thank you.
Mind if I do? I just spent 4 hours in conversation with a murderer. Just can't understand men killing for money. Seems like such a poor reason. But I guess you mix enough gold, guns, and whiskey, and the guns just got to get shut off.
Sheriff, what are you trying to avoid saying?
That your brother went down with a fired weapon in his hand, and his bullet hole was in front. As far as the other man was concerned, it was a clear case of self-defense. It had to be. Your brother loved to force fights. So my advice is to forget it as well as you can and go back home.
Thank you, Sheriff. But I'm going to stay.
Better change your mind about that, miss. This town is rugged. I don't rightly see how a lady'd go about making a living here. That is, a lady, I mean.
Sheriff, look.
Let's not take him too far out of town. I got blisters from these new boots.
I always rub bear grease on my new boots, soften them.
I fill mine with lamp oil and let them stand a couple of days.
Keys on my desk.
What are they going to do?
I want to take the fella out that's been doing them killings on Call Creek. Hang him, probably.
But can't you stop them?
Wouldn't if I could. My job is to stop crime from happening. Once it happens, it's up to them.
You dirty crook!
Hurry, please. They're hanging a man down the street.
Going to watch, Ed? Nope, I'm stuck 200.
But can't you hear me?
21, red and out. Lay your bets, gentlemen.
You're wasting your time, Beth. Come, sit down.
But the sheriff, he didn't resist. That man will be hanged without a trial. Yes, thank you.
He'll have a trial. Those men were vigilantes. They'll try him, witnesses and all. And if he's guilty, they'll hang him. Short and sweet.
Yes, sir.
Drink?
Oh, yes. A lemonade, anything.
Same for me.
Lemonade.
You heard the lady.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
That's the girl I was telling you about.
No one wants to be a second-hand romance. Certainly not me. A second-hand someone who's found somebody new, seeing such a hopeless case, would want it, would you? Those who sit and cry just can't be very smart, for who is worth a broken heart? But here's where the laugh comes. These tears will tell you why. Just a second-hand romance. Am I? Just a second-hand romance. Am I?
Come with me, Maria. I didn't think you'd still be working here.
Where would I go?
Maria, this is Beth Martin, Bob's
How do
sister.
you do? I'm sorry for you. It must have been difficult for you, too.
That Mike Prescott. I only stay here because I hope someday to see him get killed. Like he killed poor Bob.
Prescott?
My partner. I didn't want any part of telling you.
But the sheriff said it was self-defense.
That sheriff. He only says what Mike pays him to say. Killer.
Pardon me. Are you Miss Martin?
Yes.
I heard you got in town. Here's a deed to the opal mine. I was keeping this for your brother Bob. I'm the county recorder, you see. Before I could give it to him, he got... Well, anyway, there's your deed, Miss Martin. Good evening.
Good old Mike. His head always works. I've known Mike to be interested, but never to the extent of giving away a mine.
I don't understand.
Bob did not own the opal mine anymore. He lost it to Mike in a card game.
Could this man be fool enough to think that I would...
He's back there in the office. It's too bad we can't hear what she has to say, Tony.
Come in.
Did you think you could bribe me with this deed? That I'd forget about Bob? What does this mean?
This means you're going to listen until I finish and not go busting through that door until I'm through talking. Sit down.
I will not.
You mind if I do?
Suit yourself.
Now, you're probably all full of the idea that I killed your brother when he didn't have a chance. I suppose Link has done a pretty good job of convincing you.
Mr. Corey refused to say one word about the matter.
Yes, I might have known that Link would find someone to do his dirty work for him. You go to church.
I don't see what that has to do with...
Answer the question.
Of course.
Aren't good Christians supposed to be fair-minded?
Well, yes.
Then why don't you act like the Christian that you claim to be?
I don't pretend. And furthermore...
And get all the facts. There were 80 or 100 people in this dump that night. Why don't you talk to a lot of the people and find out what really happened? Or are you afraid that you might have to change a conclusion that you've jumped to?
I'm afraid of nothing.
And talk to the people.
Very well. I will.
That's all I ask. Incidentally, this dump is no place for you.
And why not? Other ladies frequent your establishment.
I hate to disillusion you. Good night.
Take these out to the butler, Tommy. Here you are. How much would that be?
You're the new kid in town, aren't you, Mort?
Yeah.
Boys!
Now, Tommy!
Junior, I'm ashamed of you.
His brother killed my father.
Hush. He's not responsible for what his brother did. You're Miss Martin?
Yes, I am.
Well, you can't blame my boy for feeling the way he does. Go along, son. What he said was the truth. Then he's too young to realize that you people aren't responsible. Bob Martin was a trouble-hunting gunfighter who was always careful to pick men who weren't gunfighters. I'll be back later, Mr. Norris, when these people have left.
Yes, Miss Miller.
I'm sorry this happened in your store, Mr. Norris.
I'm not, Miss Martin. Bob killed Mailer and several others. You had to find out sooner or later, because there's a great many people in town will have hard feelings against anyone named Martin. That boy will find many a fight on his hands.
I realize you mean well by telling me this, Mr. Norris, but, well, it's hard to...
Of course it's hard to believe, but it's true, I know. I came very close to being one of your brother's victims the night he was killed. Miss Martin, I suggest that you go back east.
Thank you, Mr. Norris. I don't know just what I'll do.
Miss Martin,
Yes?
I want to explain to you about the other night. Must have looked bad to you, being from civilized country.
It looked very bad to me.
You got to understand, before I was sheriff, Ole Hanson, the carpenter, used to make about 1 pine box a day. I got Ole's business in pretty bad shape. We're only averaging about 1 kill in a week now. Suppose I'd have stood up to them vigilantes the other night. The murderer got hung just the same. The town had a dead sheriff, too.
I can't agree with that kind of reasoning.
Put it this way. I'm civilizing coarse gold by degrees, because there's only one of me. It would take 2 cavalry regiments to civilize her all at once. And while I'm on the subject, why don't you go back to civilization? Get behind that barrel, man. Son, belly yourself down on the ground. Good. Didn't hit bone on either one. Son, I was worried about you. Shooting west up the street is tricky in this late afternoon light. What was the ruckus all about?
He said the Mississippi River was longer than the Rio Grande.
Been cheaper to look it up in a book, wouldn't it? Take him over to Doc Thomas. We'll forget about this legally, but you boys can't come to town for 6 months. That's so as you remember. See what I mean by civilization coming to coarse gold by degrees?
I'm sorry for my opinion of you, Sheriff. I thought you were incompetent.
Oh, no. I'm regular, even off, maybe, but not incompetent. Maybe you're getting around to believing what I told you about your brother.
I don't know what to say.
The answer will come to you. Good afternoon. Say, which is the longer, the Mississippi or the Rio Grande?
The Mississippi.
I'd have sure been wrong on that one.
I want to be sure you got all this straight.
Everything kosher.
The turkey is to be done just right,
Everything kosher.
with all the trimmings, and pack it some way so it'll stay hot.
Everything kosher.
And pack a couple bottles of wine and ice.
Everything kosher.
Well, it better be, or I'll put a pleat in your skull.
What was that all about?
Ingenious plot. Thought it up all by myself.
Against me, I presume?
Not this time. Much more interesting. Suppose you were a pretty gal, all tired out from days of cleaning up a shack. In walks a nice man with the dinner already cooked and a couple of bottles of Venice to top it off.
Sometimes you're so clever, I just can't stand it.
You sound like a man whose toes have been stepped on.
Why don't you pass just this once?
You'll have to make yourself clearer than that, Mike.
Hasn't that girl got enough trouble without adding you to her list?
Maybe my intentions are honorable.
Well, I guess you can spell the word.
Half of the zip is in knowing it's making saddle sores on your feelings, which for the first time I've discovered can be tender.
I'm gonna kick you out.
I find that obscure. Kick me out of where?
Out of the Golden Bear. You're not a partner anymore.
Lawyers will tell you you can't.
You owe me more than your share is worth.
You should keep up to date, amigo. I don't see Whalen around. I guess we can look at the books ourselves. We're even, partner. Dead even.
Where'd you get the money?
Partner. Do I pry into your private affairs? Speaking of private affairs, I got a date at the barber to get all prettied up. You know, Mike, you should take a gare outlook on life.
I had a soft spot for you once, Link. It's, kind of hard not to have a soft spot for a guy who stood back to back with you in a ruckus.
Dodge City. We were terrific that night.
Yeah. But enough has happened since to wear that out. First chance I get, I'm going to kick you out of the Golden Bear, Link.
Don't underestimate me, amigo. The first chance may be mine, and I may do the kicking. The trouble is, both of us are made on the inside to be top dog. And there's never room for two top dogs. Adios, Mike.
I'll get the other sack. All right.
Here's your change, Miss Martin.
Thank you.
Nice boy, your little brother. Real grown up for his age.
He's been the man of the family for quite a while.
Miss Martin, I like to say, no, it's none of my business. Good day.
No, please. Go on.
Well, that kid and you two have got to face a lot of dislike in this town. Now, I don't mean to hurt your feelings when I tell you this, but...
I understand, Mr. Jones. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Home? No, the Golden Bear. Want company? No. Then I'll stay. Beer. Hey, Hot Tamale. I want to tell you something for your own good. That's a sure sign it's unpleasant. Tell me. Remember this almost pure white diamond ring with only a few flaws? Of course. It was mine. A gambler won it from Bob and gave it to you. Bob gave it to me. Just it easy, Hot Tamale. Why am I telling you? Because I hate to see a dame knock her brains out. So many men willing to do it for her.
Why did you do that?
Because you are a man. And a better reason I never heard. Beat it. Ain't it too bad we can't do without him? Here's his sister coming in now.
Oh, Miss Martin, I have something to tell you. I lie. You see, Bob came at Mike with a shotgun.
That hole in the ceiling was meant to be in Mike's back.
I lied because, you see, I know. It must be hard for her to realize her brother was
a man? Look, almost every man's somebody's brother. Some men are handsome. So is a diamondback rattlesnake.
Come in. Sit down.
What I have to say will only take a minute.
Well, I'll try to stretch it out. Sit down.
Thank you. I want to say I was wrong, Mr. Prescott. I've talked to a great many people, and this is hard to say, but Bob...
When both people know what's going to be said, why waste words? Particularly when they're difficult to say.
That's very nice of you. Well, I had hoped that the opal mine would be profitable enough so that Tommy and I could stay, but as long as things are the way they are, I guess I better go back east.
Wait a minute. You're going back east?
Well, there's nothing else to do.
What will you use for money?
It will be difficult, but...
Do you know anything about arithmetic?
Yes, I taught school back home for a while.
Good. You can earn enough to get home if you can make these things come out right. All of us can figure the odds on making a hard-way 10 in the third row, but in our bookkeeping, 2 and 2 always seems to come out 3 or 5.
Charity, Mr. Prescott? No, I don't
Listen, just once, I'd like all these columns to come out even, so I'd, well, feel like a businessman. It's not charity. Do you want the job?
Thank you. I'd be glad to do it.
I'll expect you at 9 o'clock in the morning. You'd better be on time.
Oh, another thing, Mr. Prescott. I never really thank you for saving Tommy and me.
Well, there are 2 ways you can thank me.
Oh?
First, start calling me Mike.
All right, Mike.
Secondly, have dinner here with me tonight. Bring the kid.
We'd be glad to. Oh, Mr. Prescott,
Hey.
well, Mike, I couldn't have a date. I mean, I couldn't have dinner with you.
Previous engagement? Make it tomorrow night.
Well, I can't, ever.
Why not?
You're a married man.
Oh, that. Forget it.
Forget it. Forget it? Forget you're married?
I'm not.
But back in...
That was a lie. Time saver.
Oh, I'm beginning to see the light. It states right from the beginning that your intentions aren't serious. Then, why are you telling me the truth now?
Put your womanly intuition to work, huh? Keep your eye on things, will you?
If you can't keep liquor off yourself, you'll have to work somewhere else.
But you threw it at me.
And learn to duck.
Duck.
Are you sure you understand everything, chum?
Everything kosher, boss.
My stuff ready?
Already kosher. Dressing in turkey chestnuts.
Oh, I can save you a trip. The lady's having dinner with me.
You like it, chestnuts?
It isn't losing, it's who beats my time. Like a steak horse losing to a plater.
Like it, chestnuts?
You want to meet your ancestors?
At least got an ancestor. You? You like it, chestnuts?
Short and sweet. The stage goes out tonight with a shipment of gold. You're going to ride in it with me.
What time?
Late.
Well, that's all right. I got a date for dinner.
I'll get in touch with you when I want you.
Yeah, I knew I could depend on that.
What were you powwowing with Mike about?
I never heard of anyone getting in trouble minding his own business.
Is that your idea of dressing for a date? You look like a second assistant undertaker.
Well, I'm the conservative type, Link.
You can carry that too far, you know. Here. Just to show you my heart's in the right place.
Yeah. Well, it'll take an autopsy to prove that to me.
You got a pen?
Yeah, right there.
Haven't you got something with a little more flash?
Nope.
I got just the pen for you. Follow me.
Just a minute.
I've got a rule, Mike. I never get sore without losing a day. There's always plenty more. It's like roulette. You always play the same number, and I scatter my chips all over the place. Now, here's something that'll take people's attention away from how ugly your face really is.
Yeah, not bad. But, why so helpful?
Change of heart. I've been out of line occasionally, I know it. Let's get back on the same old basis, like we used to be when we first opened up the joint.
All right, Link. But I'm still going to sit with my back to the wall.
Did you ever do any different? Good hunting.
Mr. Prescott will join you in a moment, miss. I sent word you'd arrived. Good evening. Would you care for some?
Please. What's that? Champagne. I read about it. Say, this is real high class, ain't it?
Isn't.
Oh, that's all right. Evening, Beth. Say, that dress looks like one of New York's best. How are you, Tommy?
Hi, Mr. Prescott. Still got the souvenir.
You have not. I told you to throw it away.
I hid it.
Will you join me, Beth?
Mr. Prescott. Buck Hanley is drunk and losing much more than he can afford. No one can reason with him. I thought perhaps you were being his friend.
Right. I have a friend who's trying to go bankrupt. Will you excuse me for a moment?
The tie pin. One from the British officer. The one the old man had on the stagecoach. And Mike must be the one. Yes. Be quiet. What'll we do? Please, Tommy. Let me think. Gotta tell the truth. Yes. Yes, there's nothing else we can do. Tommy, try to conceal your excitement. Go downstairs. The sheriff's at the bar. Tell him.
A pal of mine was convinced that no number but 24 was ever going to come up on those dice. Where's Tommy?
Oh, Tommy. He went to see if he'd forgotten to tie the horses.
You're upset. Well, Beth, you're shaking.
Oh, it's nothing. I'll get over it. I occasionally get a momentary return of a fever I caught on my trip west. The wine will help.
If it does, it'll be the first thing that ever helped. Want me to call Doc Thomas?
Oh, no. I'll be all right.
Beth, you look like you're going to cry.
I am not. Oh, why did you have to be the one?
What one?
The bandit. The one that killed that nice old man.
Look, you don't...
Don't try to lie out of it. That pin. He was wearing it. He got it in the Battle of New Orleans. And your children took it from him.
Look, Beth.
Don't argue. Get away. I sent Tommy for the sheriff. I just couldn't see you. Even if you are. I just couldn't see you.
Well, the dice are still rolling.
sleep. And you've thought it over?
I don't know.
We both want to see Tommy have a chance to grow up right. I can give him that chance. Rather, we can give him that chance.
I guess you're right.
Of course. Look, baby, you go pack up and I'll go back to town and do the same. By morning, we'll be halfway to Mariposa. 10 days later, we're back east, married. And I'm a sedate businessman instead of a gambler. And we live happily ever after. Did you ever read in a book where it worked out any better?
In books, both people are in love.
We're halfway at the finish line. Speaking for myself, I'm in love. And you can work real hard at it.
I guess it's the sensible thing.
I'll be back in 3 hours. And we'll start a brand new chapter in the book.
You gonna like being married to Link?
Why? Do you object?
Ain't up to me to object. I ain't marrying him. You are.
Aren't. Not ain't, Tommy. Tommy, I told you to get rid of that horrid thing.
My souvenir. Oh,
Tommy?
Stage left course gold 2 hours ago with the guard tripled. The sheriff's not with him, though. He's still hunting Mike Prescott.
Triple guard. I don't like it.
Who asked you what you liked? Marco?
Yeah, I got it.
Suppose you missed them detonated caps. The stuff might not go off.
A blind man couldn't miss this tin can in the moonlight. Marco, I got shot in the foot. Come here and help me. Got here as soon as I could. All packed?
You're hurt.
Stepped on a nail back at the Golden Bear. Couldn't get my boot onto the bandage, so I had to cut it.
Maybe I better look at it.
We'll let the Dr. Mariposa look at it. After the minister's done his work. Start looking that stuff out, kid. I'll hitch up the horses. You don't act gay. You ought to. It's your wedding night.
Well, I feel so... I don't know.
You're feeling low, aren't you? Too much has happened to you in too short a time. You're a little punch drunk.
I hope that's all it is.
that bag, kid?
I was looking to see if there was room for something of mine.
Why'd you dodge away then? I was kind of sharp-spoken, I guess. You see, that bag's got all my money in it. All the money I took out of the Golden Bear.
I've changed my mind, Link. I'm not going away with you.
Now, Beth, don't get ideas. That's my share of the Golden Bear.
There's enough gold there to buy 10 golden bears. Go on, Link. Alone. I'm staying here.
I can't stand for that, Beth. If you have ideas, it might be dangerous to me.
Scared? He's around somewhere. It'll be morning soon. Let's work our way up the mountain while we have the fog to cover us. Takes the right ridge. We're in a cul-de-sac. There's no way down on either side.
What's a cul-de-sac?
It means we're trapped.
Maybe he went up another ridge.
You're very grown up, Tommy. You're trying to reassure me.
Suppose you get some sleep. I'll watch.
Didn't take the wrong ridge. sign. Get moving, sis. Make for that manzanita up there. We're running out of mountain.
Oh, it's no use. It just narrows down.
Come on. He can always break a leg. Or his neck, I hope. Let's make for the next bunch of rocks. When he gets closer, I'm going to duck out and try to beat him with a rock. No, Tommy, you can't do that. Try to get him. Tommy! Tommy!
Nobody'll ever say you didn't have nerve, kid.
He might get that rifle. There's a ledge down there.
He go over the side?
Yeah, after his rifle. Don't know if he got it.
Well, what do you got tears in your eyes for?
Oh, Mike.
Hey, there's a lot of guys galloping up here.
Yeah, that'll be Willie and his posse. You know, if I ever got any real trouble, I want you along. Your people.
Thanks, Mike.
Sheriff, I've got something to tell you. The gold sacks...
We're in Link's baggage. What kind of policeman do you think I am? I knew it was Link. Knew it all the time.
Oh, really?
Well, almost all the time. Still down there, huh?
Well, lower a rope down. Tie it around yourself. We'll pull you up.
You haven't got a chance, Link. Come on up.
Come on down and get me. There's the top dog yellow.
I'll go down and get him.
I thought you didn't like that guy.
I don't.
Well, then,
He's got a right to a chance.
I don't care who gets killed as long as it ain't me.
Mike! Don't chance it.
I got to.
Why, Mike? Why?
I don't know unless it's because he was my partner. He wasn't a bad guy once. I'm coming down, Link.
That'll get you deader than last year's mackerel.
Gonna make yourself a big man, huh?
A little late for that. You gonna shoot me?
Yeah.
Well, now's the time, Link.
Oh.
Come to town with us, Mike?
No.
We got a spare horse for the lady.
No, thanks. Willie, I want you to sell the Golden Bear for me. I'm through with all that.
You mean you're through being a thieving gambler that has to kill men now and then? And that you're going to tie yourself to an apron string?
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh.
Did you mean that? What you told the sheriff?
Well, only if you want to go along.
I want to go along.
Well, then, you got me, mademoiselle. Oh, that's French. See how talented I am?
Oui, monsieur.
Come on, Tommy.